Honorable Semujju, as I was preparing to have this discussion, Spire, who is part of a Uganda Parliament exhibition this time, alleges that even this very week under the Uganda Parliament exhibition, there are some MPs who received 50 million. So let me start with asking you that question. Do you have 50 million in Nakana, Honorable Semujju?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Are you on a list to receive?
Where can I get it from?
It is there. So for you did not get.
I didn't.
I will ask Abdul the same question.
Oscar, let me now reveal. I did author an article in Monitor this week, and I said one of my NRM friends, that person I met in that article was Ivan. Ivan sent me a WhatsApp message because the people of Mwende were up in arms against Pineti for not constructing a road between Mwende and Sembaule. And Ivan, in his WhatsApp message, asked me, what can we do to stop this woman to ever put her hand on any public contract?
You are now revealing private chats.
As a journalist, you're not supposed to reveal sources.
No, this is not damaging. And actually, this is not a... So it was a conversation that I thought actually the public can benefit from. So when Ivan asked me what can we do, my answer was very simple. Remove Museveni, make sure his son doesn't succeed him.
You sent that to Ivan?
Yes, I did.
So that was no work done.
Because you see, Oscar, no, it's not him who was saying so. I am the one who was advising him that for this to end, we need to go to the road. You see, people can pretend. The trouble with the public debate in Uganda is that they pick something small and the whole week and the whole month, that is the debate. In my article in Monitor, I said every year we pass a budget where Mr. Museveni has 150 billion, 140 for donation. Money he puts in envelope and works with the staff who are, Ivan, tell me, if it is Museveni who walks to the bank to withdraw that money, please tell me.
No, but
it will,
the money to him.
Does it make it right? That's the point. So if Museveni has 140 billion for donation, he also has another 83 billion classified expenditure at his residence where he stays with his wife because the children have gone away. 83. I don't know what is classified between Museveni and his wife at their residence. 83.
The president's residence.
You had your time. No, he has his office, which also has other amount. If you want, I will tell you.
President, it is another 40.
And I want the public to understand. You can lynch all of us. Me, I am ready. And I'm not saying what is happening at Parliament is right, but people must understand, and that's the point Anita was making, understand how did these things come to be.
Or the point Xavier was making, that it is rampant all over, not just Parliament.
You see, first, before I forget,
but that is what about
before I forget, the most difficult process to deal with at Parliament is budgeting. Many of the MPs don't read the details, but also some of the details are not readily provided. I try. That's why last year I had issues. When I said Museveni, we are going to spend money on Museveni's clothes, this amount every day, even MPs were shocked. It's not possible. Because to read the item by item, and you disaggregate 45 trillion shilling to know which money is going for onion and tomato, you really need to be a very serious reader. I try, I cannot classify myself as a serious leader. But back to the point, because Museveni has money for donation, 2013, Museveni's budget was 60 billion shilling. He came back for 132 billion in a supplementary. During the meetings, State House Controller told Parliament that for every public outreach that Mr. Museveni makes, when you see him on the road going to Uganda, he spends 2.4 billion per day. I did ask questions in my article because of the government hierarchy. If number one is spending 2.4 billion per day, why do you in a Ugandan setup want number 3 to spend? Because that's a structure that you have built. All the bad manners start with Museveni and end with him.
No.
I will tell you. Listen, because you need this information. This money for corporate social responsibility started as 1 billion in Parliament under Kadaga. It grew to 8 under Kadaga. Because the exhibition has found an ongoing fights in the opposition, in the NRM. So the leakage is also deliberate. That's why, as Linda said, you will not go back to Kadaga. I don't see the deputy speaker there. So you guys who have your own fights now, you are directing the country to debate only the speaker and maybe my brother Mpuga, as if when you deal with both of them, the problem will go away. We will need to go back and restock. And that's why I told you, until you have removed Museveni and made sure that his son doesn't take over, because he has also learned bad manners. The other day he was when he went to Teso, he went with one of the vehicles in his convoy was full of money. That's why part of the content of his speech at a rally is that don't go away, there is food. Where does a military man get the money to serve a whole rally? He went with money full in a vehicle. So these bad manners of Mr. Museveni is what now we are reaping as a country. You can fault Anita Mong, any other speaker, because you will not have a speaker of parliament going to the bank to withdraw money for corporate social responsibility. And I'll tell you, can I tell you, Ivan, in my constituency, the invitation to the speaker to go and preside over churches and mosques because they know she will donate money. I can tell you, people who say, why don't you invite for us the speaker to be the guest of honor? And if she ever publishes a list of where donations have gone to churches, to schools, to what?
You want to answer?
You will shut up. So the point for me, Oscar, I make is that structurally now, even if you have a budget, a parliamentary exhibition every week and every year, without changing the structure, you are in trouble. This cannot change. A head of state has a budget at his residence, 140 billion donation, 83 billion shilling classified expenditure. And I have been dealing with. So people who are under Museveni, I argued in Monitor, is that because they are also looking at the percentages. So if number one is taking this, I will take this. That's why with his 63 convoy vehicle, the speaker now has 10. The vice president has this number. My friend Nabanja has 8. The ministers now have 3. So we are where Nigeria was at one time. I saw a governor. His wife had 3 vehicles and the governor himself had 12. So that's where progressively we are going. And you will not stop it. I have told you, before Kadaga left parliament, she had even ordered for a helicopter. Eventually they say, no, Kadaga is now starting to look like a president. Maybe she can use the one of police. So this bad manners is not limited to Anita Mong. This is how NRM people operate. And you can only, the solution is
it true she ordered for
Yes, it was in the budget. Yes. I sit on the budget committee.
In the budget?
Yes. Museveni had to call for a meeting and say, no, the chopper, okay, we can give you the one of police, but don't procure. It was in the budget. If you want, I can bring you documents here. And I said in my article in Monitor is that actually Anita Mongo is a bad student. Kadaga was learning very quickly how to do things the Museveni way. So you don't just stop at vehicles, you even buy yourself a helicopter. So I don't understand that everybody has to be angry, but the anger must be directed to where it should be, and that's where the solution should begin from. So the moment you accepted Museveni to live the way he lives with his children, Museveni's wife has a convoy of about 40 vehicles. The son has also, you will see Mohoz, a serving military officer. The other day he was in Mubende. He came with a chopper. He also came with a convoy. Clearly. So if you want to lynch, everybody must be lynched. That's where the solution will come from. But to isolate and deal with parliament, yes, you can deal with parliament. It is legitimate. And I think parliament and the parliamentary leadership will need to reflect on the figures that have been published. Parliament also need to some sort of a retreat to go and deal with this. But this is just a symptom. And I agree with him who said now corruption is everywhere. So I think we are at the patient is terminally ill. Either you I don't know whether you will make the referral too. Because, this thing has, every year we deal with the budget. I have said so. That you guys, these amounts are here. Trouble with many MPs don't read. He was asking that, did the MPs pass this? They did. Did they know? They didn't know. Why? They don't read. And that's not about to go away. because the budget of parliament is brought to the committee on legal. I sit there. It is taken to the budget committee, and eventually it ends up with the whole parliament sitting and passing it. So no MP should express ignorance anywhere. They should just blame themselves for not reading. So these amounts are there. Corporate social responsibility, they did not start with Anita Mongo, they were there. Kadaga was doing the same thing. She visits a school, she donates 50. She visits another, she donates 150. So to stop it, deal with M7 family, and change and have a new pair of human resource. The moment you maintain this one, even if you take there another person who's not Anita tomorrow.
Even you opposition leaders, if you were to look into how much you spend, if your leaders, the leaders.
That's why I said that maybe we should. That's why I said we should all be lynched.
Yes, it's not just
because if you go to the parties, even the parties receive money. I'm not sure that they account to the satisfaction.
Thank you.
But this environment under which we work. So my demand is that we need to have, maybe you, Linda, should become the leader of opposition in the next parliament, and all of us get out, and then we provide a solution. Because you can't stop at talking.
No.
Please offer yourselves.
She's Arinda.
Arinda, yes.
The first name is Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Yes, let her offer herself. You come and lead the opposition. Action Aid becomes the head of government business, and you improve the situation.
Yeah. Honorable Abdul Katonto, did you get 50 million this week?
I think that's a redundant question. First of all,
because the allegation is here on Twitter.
Why it's redundant. I don't know how many MPs, if that ever happened, would Luka say I received it.
No.
So I would rather we ask useful questions. However, I didn't get it. Having said that, Oscar, let me first answer the this newspaper story of Monitor, the 2.6 billion every day. What the Monitor did was to get the entire budget of Parliament, then divide it by 365 days. That includes even development budget and so on. So the headline itself is so sensational. It does not reflect exactly what went on. Because, for example, the judiciary, I think, is around 600 billion something. Parliament is around 940 something billion, and the judiciary is 600 billion something. So what they would do, they would get that 650 billion or whatever of the judiciary, divide it by 365, say this is what they spend every day. Can that give the exact picture? Absolutely not. So you need to interrogate it further to see how this money is being spent and on what. Having said that, Oscar, let me correct this situation Ivan was talking about. It is true the Constitution provides that Parliament shall determine its emoluments. That matter has been subject to a court interrogation and decision up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has given guidelines. One, Parliament cannot introduce a bill to amend, vary their salary and emoluments except through the executive. So it's not that the Parliamentary Commission sits, takes a decision and goes to the floor and it passes. No. You need to look at the famous case of Message. It went up to the Supreme Court. So that is the current law. So there is nowhere where Parliament has been sitting in the Parliamentary Commission, then they come to the House and they increase their emoluments. It's not true, because increasing of emolument and varying emolument salaries and so on is a function of the budget. And that budget can never be introduced by Parliament. It can only come through the executive. But you know, there was Jacqueline talking about the level of ignorance. But even those who are not ignorant know the truth. They actually send the whole country to a wide goose, discussion, like indeed, Ivan, you are. Because it is not true. Everything has come from the executive. The only thing I can tell you, because I've been in the corridors for some power, that Parliament has got a stronger hand when it's negotiating with the executive to have those variations. But at the end of the day, it is the executive the Minister of Finance, whom you know, who is the authority, who is the author of the budget, who varies emoluments and salaries. And that should be clear on the record. Having said that, we go to actually the issue now at hand, Oscar. It all rotates around one thing, accountability. And to me, I define accountability like this. One, it is either legal accountability or political accountability. What do I mean by legal accountability? If money has been appropriated by Parliament through the budget for a particular activity, has it been spent on that activity or not? So what we should be looking at, and the debate should be, was there money appropriated in the budget for social responsibility? Yes or no? Because you see, whoever has been leaking this information, and our brilliant people who discuss these things on social media, they should be able to tell the public, was this money appropriated and for that purpose? And if this money was not appropriated for that purpose and it was used for some other purpose, then that offends the law. And then we go and interrogate who did it. Was it a mischarge? Was it outright embezzlement? And that becomes a legal issue, actually bordering on criminality. But if not bordering, actually is criminality. However, if money was appropriated for that purpose, and it is unreasonable figures, then we must go to what we call now political accountability. That you can't appropriate this sort of money for social corporate responsibility. So, and the debate should be twofold. Unfortunately, people are mixing it up. Is this money in the budget? I can't tell you it is. Is it correct? That is a debate which we should be having. And now, that's when the parliamentary administration, Parliament of Uganda, and the government should do the political accountability. Such that the public says, oh no, you are misusing our resources, our taxes. You cannot just say you are going to use 1-2 billion shillings, or 3 or whatever figure is, purely on social corporate responsibility. So that debate, we should have it on the table. So, having said that, in 2005, I thought there was a lot of things which was happening in the government, and the public didn't know. However, when you look at the Constitution, Article 41, at that time, they thought the public deserves to know what is going on in government. And if the government is not being so open, transparent, what do you do? So I brought a private member's bill, spent 6 months drafting it personally with some aid of a friend of mine at that time at one of these embassies who had an idea about transparency and so on. And I brought a private member's bill on access to information, working with the two journalists, two very, very good journalists, very intelligent journalists. That's Angela Zama and actually Charles Mangusha. And we brought a very, very good law. The government grabbed it, but eventually they enacted it word per word. They didn't even change even a comma. And Sabah Turo, the one of was then the Minister of Information. He just removed my name and put his. And I said, that's fine. I thought you have a PhD, that's what I told him. But there is a case called plagiarism. But that is fine with me. So eventually we have that law in place. You tell me, civil society, how many people have utilized it to say, okay, now this is the budget. Let's interrogate this ministry, this parliament. What is this? Because if you don't, you can even go to court and you have access to this. Nobody has done that. We sometimes do what is humanly possible. What is not, we leave it to the entire country. Because you can't leave this to only one individual, Oscar. So this money, we should know, Oscar, and let everybody know that there is a budget for social responsibility in what? In Parliament. Like indeed for Plot 1 Uganda. I'll give you an example. When the president goes giving out that money, you're calling it donations. What is it called in law? Ivan, what is it called in law?
Donations.
Eh?
You are the Lord.
Donations and so no, I'm talking about English now. It's not law. What is it called? They are donations. The Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, and those MPs should be sincere, has been to, I don't know how many millions of fundraising. Where does she get that money? Millions. And there is, I've not conducted a fundraising myself because I don't believe in it. But all these new MPs, and it has been a fashion these days.
Yeah.
Everybody is conducting a fundraising. And all of them, speaker, guest of honor. And she will not go there and give 1-2 million. They go there 20, 30, for whatever function it is. Every religious institution, they were going to the speaker for what? For money donation. All of them. Whether the faith I believe in, the Muslims have been there, the Catholics have been there, you know, the Protestants have been there. I'm not so sure whether even the Ivans who don't believe in any religions have not been there. All of them. and we go back, Oscar, to the culture where...
You are slandering me on public road.
It was tongue in cheek, of course. I don't know, Oscar, whether this is not a culture we somehow must stop.
Just
If we can't stop this as a culture, as a country.
When I was making a response to the budget, I was chief opposition whip. The NRM whip has a budget of 6 billion, including 800 million for donation. And for me, chief opposition whip, they were giving me 0. So I also went and complained, since this is the business we are doing, also give me money, I go and donate. But up to now, they haven't.
You are no longer the opposition whip.
No, but there is one who occupies the office. Go and ask him.
No, it is 0. So, and that is the same trap Mpuga fell into. Because he said, I'm leader of opposition, I'm in parliament. But my colleague who is the leader of government business has got a retirement benefit by law. Why can't you also provide something for this office? Then somebody, Malaysia, said, no, maybe for you, maybe, because...
They said that for you, let us give you.
but stop that. So I can tell you, Oscar, that we need to move as a country from the culture of getting political leaders to provide some of these services. Because these services are supposed to be provided by the state. But when you say it is the president who builds the churches, who does this, then MPs are the ones doing culverts, they are the ones doing this, you put pressure on them. And those who have got now positions where they can utilize state funds, then they will do it individually. And it is certainly not correct, but that is what it is.